So, good afternoon. My name is Tiffany, and today I will be doing a topic on Hank Aaron and Reverend C.L. Franklin. So, I'm going to start with Reverend C.L. Franklin, who is who was the father of the late Aretha Franklin, but he was also a civil rights activist, and not only that, he was a reverend. So on this day, he was born on January 22nd, 1915. So I'm going to be posting some biographies on him. And then after I get done with him, I'm going to be doing Hank Aaron, who passed away today on the 22nd of January at the age of 86. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with C.L. Franklin. So who was C.L. Franklin? C.L. Franklin, who was born, or whose real name was Clarence LaVon Franklin, and he was born as Clarence LaVon Walker on January 22nd, 1915, and he had passed away on July 27th of 1984. He was an American Baptist minister and civil rights activist. He was known as the man with the $1 million voice. Franklin served as the pastor of New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan, from 1946 until he was shot and wounded in 1979. Franklin was also the father of the American singer-songwriter Aretha Franklin. Okay, so he was born as Clarence LaVon Walker in Sunflower County, Mississippi, to sharecroppers Willie and Rachel Walker. C.L. Franklin would recall that the only thing his father did for him was to teach him to salute when he returned from service in World War I in 1919. Willie Walker abandoned the family when Clarence was 4 years old. The next year, Rachel married Henry Franklin, whose surname the family adopted. All right, so at the age of 16, he became a preacher, initially working at the Black itinerant preaching circuit before settling at New Selman Baptist Church in Memphis, Tennessee, where he remained until 1944. From there, he moved to the pulpit of Friendship Baptist Church in Buffalo, New York, where he served until 1946. When he became pastor of New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan. Throughout the late 1940s and 50s, his fame grew. He preached throughout the country while maintaining his pulpit at New Bethel, known as the man with the $1 million voice. Franklin had many of his sermons recorded in the 1970s, many of them issued by Jovan Battles, JVB label, and broadcast sermons via radio on Sundays. He commanded up to $4,000 per appearance for his public appearance, high fees for the time. Yes, $4,000. Among his famous sermons were The Eagle Stirreth Her Nest and Dry Bones in the Valley. In 2011, The Eagle Stirreth Her Vest was added to the National Recording Registry of the Library of Congress. Selected sermons are published in a volume edited by the University of Illinois Press. Franklin was also known for his singing voice and a style of preaching that soothed organically into song. He also encouraged his daughter Aretha Franklin in her musical endeavors. During the 1950s, he took her with him on speaking tours and musical engagements and formed an a cappella group with Anthony Alexander Chambly, his first cousin. In the 1950s and 1960s, he became involved in the civil rights movement and worked to end discriminatory practices against Black United Auto Workers members in Detroit. Franklin was a friend and supporter of Martin Luther King Jr. He helped to He helped to lead Dr. King's Freedom March down Woodworth Avenue in Detroit in June of 1963. All right, so what happened to him? So, according to the information on Wiki One, assault, death, and legacy. Shortly after midnight on Sunday, June the 10th of 1979, Franklin was shot twice, point blank range, during what was believed to have been an attempt robbery at his home on Detroit's west side. He was taken to Henry Ford Hospital on nearby West Grand Boulevard. He remained in a coma for the next 5 years. The Franklin children moved him back to his house 6 months after the shooting. He received 24 hours nursing care and remained at home until the middle of 1984. He died on July 27, 1984, age 69, in Detroit's New Light Nursery Home. Franklin was entombed at Detroit's Woodlawn Cemetery on North Woodward Avenue. Franklin's friend, the Reverend Jasper Williams Jr. of the Selman Bible Church of Atlanta, Georgia, gave the eulogy. Reverend William also eulogized Reverend Franklin's daughter, Aretha, in 2018. And on June 25th of 2019, the New York Times Magazine listed C.L. Franklin among hundreds of artists whose material was reportedly destroyed in the 2008 Universal fire. Damn. All right, so here's his personal life. So on October the 16th, 1934, Franklin married his first wife, Aline Gaines, and thought that marriage had ended, though that marriage had ended early by 1936. The form of dissolution is unconfirmed. On June 3rd, 1936, Franklin married Barbara Seggers, with whom
Buying online is great. See if you get exactly what you want and don't need to return it. So why take chances buying a vehicle from some distant online car vendor when Conyers Nissan lets you choose from over 250 new and pre.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was interrupted. So going back to what I was reading. Okay. So anyways, his personal life on October the 16th, 1934, Franklin married his first wife, Aline Gaines, and though that marriage had ended by early 1936, the form of dissolution is unconfirmed. On June 3rd, 1936, Franklin married Barbara Seggers, with whom he had 4 children. Irma, who was born in 1938 and she died in 2002. Cecile, who was born in 1940 and died in 1989. Aretha, who was born in 1942 and she died in 2018. And Carolyn, who was born in 1944 and died in 1988. Wow. As noted by his biographer, Nick Salvatore, C.L. fathered a daughter, Carl Ellen Kelly, who was born in 1940 and she died in 2019, by Mildred Jennings, a 12-year-old member of his congregation, on November 17, 1940. Carl Ellen was born during his tenure at New Selman Baptist Church in Memphis, Tennessee, and was the last of his children to survive him. Barbara had a son by a previous relationship, Vaughn, who C.L. adopted shortly after the marriage. Vaughn did not learn that C.L. Franklin was not his father until 1951. When C.L. and Barbara separated for the last time, Barbara moved with Vaughn to Buffalo, New York, leaving Franklin with the couple's four other children. The couple never divorced. According to a biographer, Nick Salvatore of Cornell University, Barbara made periodic trips to Detroit to visit her children, and they traveled to New York to visit her during the summer vacation. Barbara died of a heart attack in 1952 at the age of 34. Her husband did not attend to her funeral. Franklin is known to have a long-term affair with gospel artist Clara Ward, among other infidelities. Wow. Anyway, so if you guys want to look up more, here's the reference at the bottom. And here's the further reading. And here's the external link. What a story. I'm still tripping off the fact that this man impregnated a 12-year-old and had a child with her. I'm still baffled off of that. I'm still like, wow. All right, but anyways, so here's a book that I'm gonna take a look at real fast, okay? Which is on archive.org. And it's called Singing in a Strange Land, C.L. Franklin, the Black Church, and the Transformation of America. All right, so this is the book based off his biography, okay? All right, so let's look into this book. And the author who wrote it was Nick Salvatore. So these are the table of content. All right, so let's see what else we can find. All right, so here in this book, it goes on to say that Willie Walker, a young Delta man, had met and married Rachel Pittman about 1914, who his people were when he was born, where he was raised. The contours of his personality all remain a mystery. At this distance, it is difficult to have been the barest hint of Walker. He likely courted Rachel while she lived with kin in rural Sunflower County, and theirs was probably a common law marriage, as were many among Mississippi blacks at that time. On January 22nd, 1915, in a farmhouse in the hamlet of Sunflower, just outside Indianola, Rachel delivered her first child, a son, the couple named Clarence Lavon. She carried her baby with her into the fields as she picked cottons under the intense Mississippi sun. It is hard to imagine a more hostile environment for a black child to be born into than white-dominated Mississippi during this era. School, churches, railroads, hotels, and that then new phenomenon, the picture show, were all segregated, but those were only the most oblivious signs of a racist world. Never would a black child witness whites addressing his older relatives as Mr. or Mrs., regardless of their age or status, and rarely would that child hear his king use anything but formal titles when addressing whites, no matter how young. Retail stores were not segregated, for the only thing white merchants feared more than taking money touched by inferior black hands was to see that same money in the hands of a black mercantile class. But blacks had to wait for service until all whites had been accommodated. On the street, a similar racial etiquette prevailed. Black men were expected to doff their caps to whites. Black men and women to step into the street to allow whites to pass. Never would a black adult presume to walk through the front door of a white restaurant or a white private home. The term nigger hung in air as integral to daily life as the dense humidity of a Mississippi summer day. It purposed to declare uh was it let me I did that by accident. Irrevocably, the narrow place allowed blacks in public life. Given this, that black adults could neither vote nor serve on juries seemed redundant. All right. So let's see what else we gonna find in this book about his life. All right. So how did he end up becoming a pastor? So I'm kind of skipping through this book so I can. Robert Pop Staples, a Delta native and adult friend of Clarence Franklin, would later sing of the Mississippi of his youth. Far back as I can remember, either had to hollow or whole. That too was Clarence's world, as was common among Delta blacks. His life was hard and unrelenting, and it became even harder in the 1930s. A national black a national economic depression devastated already impoverished black workforce, and the possibility of owning the land one worked all but disappeared for African Americans, as the white Delta planter and diarist Harry Ball wrote at the time. The Negroes are starving. They throng about us daily, begging for work and food. So for him, life was extremely difficult in Mississippi. Now, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana happen to be one of the poorest states. Okay? They are one of the poorest states in the United States, in the South. All right, so especially Mississippi, because there was a lot of sharecropping going on, and there was a lot of black people that was in impoverished communities, and to this day it's still like that. All right, so let's see what else we can find in this story. All right, so chapter 3 says, moving on up, Memphis, then the blackest major city in the United States, with more than 40% of its nearly 300,000 people of African descent, moved to rhythms more complex and electric than anything found in the Delta. Bell Street or Beale Street, the heart of the black shopping and entertainment district, was the great crossroads. Working men and women shopped there and filled the clubs on Saturday evenings. Black professionals maintained their office on the street as well, even as many showed only disdain for the blues music that flowed from those clubs onto the sidewalks outside, and street intellectual and political activists debated solution for the pervasive segregation that crafted social relation. So it says Bell Street or Beale Street pulsated in the minds of many Southern blacks as a symbol of possibility that did not exist in the rural South. Yet the street and its city delivered a far tougher reality than that popular promise often imagined. I love my whiskey and I love my gin. The Memphis Jug band sang in its popular Cocaine Habit Blues in 1930. But the way I love my coke is a doggone sin. The large amounts of cocaine and whiskey that fueled the streets' excitement inevitably led to violence, and the business never closes till somebody gets killed. W.C. Handy sang in his Beale Street Blues. So renowned was the city reputation in the 1930s as the murder capital of the nation that the FBI investigated and confirmed Memphis' status for fatal violence, as well as its regional preeminence as a drug distribution center. Cocaine could be brought into stores like aspirin. One resident remembered it came in little flat round containers of wood known as lids at 50 cents. With illegal drugs, and until the appeal of prohibition in 1933, illegal liquor came a perfect opportunity for organized crime to build a sales network through local business and black street vendors, bribing politicians and police as needed. The profits of this trade rarely enriched black Memphians. Beale Street, the central artery of black Memphis, was a wide open venue for pleasure of every description. But there also were consequences in murdered family members, a report high rate of venereal venereal diseases, and a winching poverty that brought people back to the streets every Saturday night in search of some release from the hardness of the week gone by, whatever the cause. All right, so basically, I'm not going to go any further, but this is his biography. And so, with that section of the chapter, it talked about how when he moved to Tennessee, Memphis, and how things were at that time. Yeah, it was an opportunity for other blacks that grew up in the rural South, but at the same time, it was also a troubling area. It was a lot of crime rates going on. It was a lot of bootlegging, a lot of cocaine dealing at that time. So yeah, it was a lot going on. The singer Aretha Franklin, she was originally born in Memphis, Tennessee, but she grew up in Detroit. So by him being the pastor, Rev C.L. Franklin traveled from Mississippi to Memphis and opened up his church there, and then from Memphis to Detroit. That's where he built up his popularity. So Aretha been in Detroit for most of her life. So that's what she really knew as home. She knew more about Detroit being home than Memphis, Tennessee. And so one day I'm going to go into the topic about the Great Migration, with how people travel from the South into the North or the Midwest region in particularly. You know, most people travel to places like Chicago, Detroit, Boston, and New York, Philadelphia, and Ohio, and various other parts in the state. Indiana, they traveled to these places, and some went to the West Coast, like California, only because they saw opportunity in those states, and they were more than likely able to find jobs up there. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is, if you guys want to check out more, you guys can go on archive.org and you just look up the book called Singing in a Strange Land, C.L. Franklin, the Black Church, and the Transformation of America. All right. So you can go and check it out for yourself. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go to Hank Aaron. Okay. So Hank Aaron, who was the former baseball player in the major league, who is known for his home runs. Okay. He had made his transition on this day at the age of 86. So let's look at his biography. All right, so here's the introduction. So Henry Louis Aaron, who was born February the 5th of 1934 and died on January 22nd, 2021. Did I say 21st? I mean 2021. All right. He was nicknamed the Hammer and Hammering Hank was a professional baseball player, right fielder, who played 23 seasons in Major League Baseball from 1954 through 1976. He spent 21 seasons with the Milwaukee/Atlanta Braves in the National League and 2 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers in the American League. Aaron is regarded as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. His 755 career home runs stood as the MLB records for 33 years, and he still holds many MLB, which is Major League Baseball, offensive records. He hit 24 or more home runs every year from 1955 through 1973, and is one of only 2 players to hit 30 or more home runs in a season at least 15 times. In 1999, the Sporting News ranked Aaron 5th on its list of the 100 greatest baseball players. In 1982, he was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. All right, so let's go down to his early life. So he was born in Mobile, Alabama, to Herbert Aaron Sr. and Estella Aaron. He had 7 siblings. Tommy Aaron, one of his brothers, also went to play Major League Baseball. By the time Aaron retired, he and his brother held the record for most career home runs by a pair of siblings. They were also the first siblings to appear in league championship series as teammates. While he was born in a section of Mobile referred to as Down the Bay, he spent most of his youth in Toomaville. Aaron grew up in a poor family. His family could not afford baseball equipment, so he practiced by hitting bottles caps with stick. He would create his own bats and balls out of materials he found on the streets. His boyhood idol was baseball star Jackie Robinson. Aaron attended Central High School as a freshman and a sophomore. Like most high schools, they did not have organized baseball, so he played outfield and third base for the Mobile Black Bears, a semi-pro team. Aaron was a member of the Boy Scouts of America. Although he batted across hands as a right-handed hitter with his left hand above his right, Aaron established himself as a power hitter. As a result, in 1949, at the age of 15, Aaron had his first tryout with an MLB franchise, the Brooklyn Dodgers. However, he did not make the team. After this, Aaron returned to school to finish his secondary education, attending the Josephine Allen Institute, a private high school in Alabama. Hank Aaron also attended Central High School in Mobile, Alabama. During his junior year, Aaron first joined the cricket athletics, followed by the Mobile Black Bears, an independent Negro League team. While on the Bears, Aaron earned $3 per game, which is $99 today, which was $1 more than he got on the athletics. So let's look at the Negro League and minor league career. So on November 20th, 1951, baseball scout Ed Scott signed Aaron to a contract on behalf of the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro American League, where he played for 3 months. He started play as a 6-foot, 180-pound shortstop and earned $200 per month. As a result of his standout play with the Indianapolis Clowns, Aaron received 2 offers from MLB teams via telegram, one from the New York Giants and the other from the Boston Braves. Wow. So years later, Aaron remembered, I had the Giants contract in my hand, but the Braves offered $50 a month more. That's the only thing that kept Willie Mays and me from being teammates, $50. While the Clowns, he experienced some overt racism. His team was in Washington, D.C. We had breakfast while we were waiting for the rain to stop, and I could still envision sitting with the Clowns in a restaurant behind Griffin Stadium and hearing them break all the plates in the kitchen after we finished eating. What a horrible sound. Even as a kid, the irony of it hit me. Here we were in the capital, in the land of freedom and equality, and they had to destroy the place that had touched the force that had been in the mouths of black men. If dogs had eaten off those plates, they'll have washed them. The House Sports Bureau credits Aaron with a 366 battling average in 26 official Negro League games with 5 home runs, 33 runs batted in RBI, 41 hits, and 9 stolen bases. All right, so the Braves purchased Aaron's contract from the Clowns for $10,000, which GM John Quinn thought was a steal, as he stated that he felt that Aaron was a $100,000 property. On June 12, 1952, Aaron signed with Braves scout Dewey Griggs. During this time, he picked up the nickname Pork Chops because it was the only thing I knew to order off the menu. A teammate later said the man ate pork chops 3 meals a day, 2 for breakfast. All right, so let's go into the major league. All right, so in 1954, Aaron attended spring training with the Major League club. Although he was on the roster of his farm club, Milwaukee manager Charlie Graham later stated, from the start, he did so well, I knew we were going to have to carry him. On March 13, 1954, Milwaukee Braves left fielder Bobby Thompson fractured his ankle while sliding into second base during a spring training. The next day, Aaron made his first spring training start for the Braves major league team, playing in left field and hitting a home run. This led Hank Aaron to a major league contract, signed on the final day of spring training in a Braves uniform with the number 5. On April the 13th, Aaron made his major league debut and was hitless in 5 at-bats against the Cincinnati Reds left-hander Joe Nuxhall. In the same game, Eddie Matthews hit 2 home runs, the first of a record 863 home runs. The pair would hit as teammates. On April 15th, Aaron collected his first major league hit, a double off of Cardinals pitcher Vic Rachi. Aaron hit his first major league home run on April 23rd, also off Rachi. Over the next 122 games, Aaron batted .280 with 13 homers before he suffered a fractured ankle on September 5th. He then changed his number to 44, which would turn out to look like a lucky number for a slugger. Aaron would hit 44 home runs in 4 different seasons, and he hit his record-breaking 715th career home run off Dodgers pitcher Al Downing, who coincidentally also wore number 44. All right. So, breaking Ruth's record. Aaron himself downplayed the chase to surpass Babe Ruth, while baseball enthusiasts and the national media grew increasingly excited as he closed in on the 714 career home runs record. Aaron received thousands of letters every week during the summer of 1973, including hate mail. The Braves ended up hiring a secretary to help him sort through it. Aaron, then age 39, hit 40 home runs and 392 at bats, ending in 1973 season, 1 home run short of the record. He hit home run number 713 on September the 29th, 1973, and with 1 day remaining in the season, many expected him to tie the record. But his final game that year, playing against the Houston Astros, managed by Leo Durocher, who had once roomed with Babe Ruth, he was unable to achieve this. After the game, Aaron said his only fear was that he might not live to see the 1974 season. All right, so that's a picture right there. That's a picture of Hank Aaron. Well, that's like one of the little that's one of the plague. Yeah, the Hank Aaron Hall of Fame plague at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. All right, that's him again. That's his jersey. That's his jersey. All right, now this is the old stadium. Real quick. So before I continue on, the Atlanta Braves Stadium, right, which was known as the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, it was around from 1966 to 1996. Okay, so that was the same stadium both the Braves and the Falcons played in. And then the Falcons ended up moving into the Georgia Dome, which was built in 1992. Okay, which they tore that down around 2016 and put the Mercedes-Benz Stadium right there. Then once the Turner Field Stadium was built in 1996, they demolished the original Braves Stadium. Okay, now it sits on, what's the name of that street over there? I'm trying to think of the name of the street. It sits right between Ralph Abernathy, over by Ralph Abernathy area. But anyways, it's I can't get the name of the street on the top of my head at the moment. But anyhow, they changed the name of it some time ago. They changed the name of the street some time ago. But it's over there in the Centennial area and not far from Ralph Abernathy area. But that whole area has been taken over by Georgia State University. Okay, so Georgia State University had took over the stadium that was once the Turner Field. Thank you. Capitol Avenue. That's the name of the street. Oh, I was trying to get off my head. Thank you. Capitol Avenue. That was the name of it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I couldn't even get it off the top of my head. Yeah. So the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was sitting on the street called Capitol Avenue. Okay. And so yeah, that's where the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Falcons once played. They shared the same stadium. Then the Atlanta Falcons moved in over there to the Georgia Dome area, and now the Georgia Dome is the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's no longer there. Then 1996, Turner Field was built. So once they built Turner Field, that stadium was demolished, the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. So, and now Turner Field is no longer there. So Georgia State took over that, and so it's out in Cobb County. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. I was trying to get the name of the street. I couldn't get off the top of my head, but oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, that's the history of it. So anyways, as you can see the picture, let me find the picture again because I just seen where it was posted. All right. So right here where they got the picture posted, it says the fence at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, over which Hank Aaron hits his 715th career, right here. That was the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Okay. So now over there in that area is just a parking lot. So they turned it into a parking lot area or whatever. So, but yeah, this is where it was at one point in time. This is the stadium that he played in. Yep. It was a huge stadium too. All right, then. So let me go ahead and let's look down. So post-playing career, after the 1976 season, Aaron rejoined the Braves as an executive. On August the 1st, 1982, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, having received votes on 97.8% of the ballots, second only to Ty Cobb, who had received votes on 98.2% of the ballot in the inaugural 1936 Hall of Fame election. Aaron was then named the Braves Vice President and Director of Player Development. This made him one of the first minorities in Major League Baseball upper level management. All right, so go on in December of 1980, he became senior vice president and assistant to the Braves president. He was the corporate vice president of community relations for TBS, a member of the company's board of directors, and the vice president of business development for the airport network. On January 21st, 2007, Major League Baseball announced the sale of the Atlanta Braves. In that announcement, baseball commissioner Bud Selig also announced that Aaron would be playing a major role in the management of the Braves, forming programs through Major League Baseball that will encourage the influx of minorities into baseball. Aaron founded the Hank Aaron Rookie League program. Right. Let me go ahead and read this real quick. All right. His autobiography, I Had a Hammer, was published in 1990. The book title is a play on his nickname, The Hammer, or Hammering Hank, and the title of the folk song, If I Had a Hammer. Aaron owned Hank Aaron BMW of South Atlanta in Union City, Georgia. Wow, I didn't even know that. I didn't know he owned Hank Aaron BMW of South Atlanta in Union City, Georgia, where he gives an autographed baseball with every car sold. Aaron also owned many Land Rover, Toyota, Hyundai, and Honda dealerships throughout Georgia. Wow. As part of the Hank Aaron Automotive Group, Aaron sold all but the Toyota dealership in McDonald in 2007. Additionally, Aaron owned a chain of 30 restaurants around the country. During the 2006 season, San Francisco Giant slugger Barry Bonds passed Babe Ruth and moved into second place on the all-time home run list, attracting growing media coverage as he drew closer to Aaron's record. Playing off intense interest in their perceived rivalry, Aaron's and Bonds made a television commercial that aired during the Super Bowl. I'm not good at reading numerals. Well, it was around the Super Bowl time, shortly before the start of the 2007 baseball season, in which Aaron jokingly tried to persuade Bonds to retire before breaking the record. As Bonds began to close in on the record during the 2007 season, Aaron let it be known that although he recognized Bonds' achievements, he would not be present when Bonds broke the record. There was considerable speculation that this was a snubbing of Bonds based on the widespread belief that Bonds had used performance-enhancing drugs and steroids to aid his achievement. However, some observers looked back on Aaron's personal history, pointing out that he had downplayed his own breaking of Babe Ruth's all-time record and suggesting Aaron was simply retreating Bonds in a similar fashion. And goes on to say, in a later interview with Atlanta sportcasting personality Chris Domino, Aaron made it clear his reluctance to attend any celebration of a new home run record was based upon his personal conviction that baseball is not about breaking records, but simply playing to the best of one's potential. All right. So he lived in the Atlanta area. In July of 2013, media report that his home was burglarized. Wow. Jewelry and 2 BMW vehicles were stolen. The cars were later recovered. Yep. Personal life and death. So his first marriage was to Barbara Lucas in 1953. They had 5 children: Gary, Larry, Dorinda, Gay, and Hank Jr. He divorced Barbara in 1971 and married Billy Supper Williams on November 13, 1973. With his second wife, he had 1 child, Cece. Aaron was Catholic, having converted in 1959 with his family. He and his wife first became interested in the faith after the birth of their first child, whom they baptized immediately. A friendship with a Catholic priest later helped lead to Hank and his wife's conversion. Aaron was known to frequently read Thomas A. Kempis' The Imitation of Christ, which he kept in his locker. Aaron was a long-time fan of Cleveland Browns, having attended many games in disguise in their dog pound seating session. So he died on January 22nd, 2021 at the age of 86, 2 weeks shy of his 87th birth. His cause of death has not been announced. He died in his sleep. Funeral service have not been announced. All right, so these are his honors. Baseball Hall of Fame. And going down, it says, when the city of Atlanta was converting Centennial Olympic Stadium into a new baseball stadium, many local residents hoped the stadium would be named for Aaron. When the stadium was instead named Turner Field after Atlanta Braves owner Ted Turner, a section of Capitol Avenue running past the stadium was renamed Hank Aaron Drive. the stadium street number is 755 after Aaron's total number of home runs. The 755 street number was retained for Turner Field's replacement, Trustee Park. In April 1997, a new baseball facility for the AA Mobile Bay Bears, constructed in Aaron's hometown of Mobile, Alabama, was named Hank Aaron Stadium. Georgia State University acquired Turner Field, since rebuilt as a Center Park Stadium in 2017, and university official plan to build a new baseball park on the former Atlanta Fulton County Stadium site, incorporating the left field wall where Aaron hit his record-breaking home run. Okay, see, I knew they was gonna do something about it. So, yeah, as I was saying, it was sitting right there on Capitol Avenue, and that section where Turner Field was at, all the way on up, was named Hank Aaron Drive. Yeah, so Capitol Avenue was renamed Hank Aaron Drive. What am I saying? Yeah, but then also what people don't know is that let's see what else I want to look at. Well, that's all I got for right now, or for today. So if you guys want to look up more information, you can. You can look at the bottom of the screen, etc. You can look at the reference, external link, etc. So let's see. Close this out. Also, if you want to look up more information on archive.org, you can find out some more books on here. So this is a book about Hank Aaron, etc. So what people don't know is, okay, where Turner Field was, right? That street, Capitol Avenue, was renamed Hank Aaron Drive. Now, if you go behind the stadium where Turner Field used to be, that area was like the inner city. So pretty much Turner Field was sitting right there in the heart of the ghetto. Like, it was sitting right there in the heart of the ghetto, in the hood, pretty much. So yeah, you was typically in the hood. Georgia State College has built dorms there for the students to live in off the campus. Oh, okay then. Okay. See, I haven't been over there in that area in a while. So basically Georgia State has put up dormitory areas for college students. And also, as I read in the article, that they're supposed to be, they want to put a new baseball stadium over there where the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium used to be at. So, yeah, but I just know that Georgia State had took over that area. Yeah, the college, they took over. So a lot of these colleges, like Georgia Tech and Georgia State, they taking over a lot of historical areas, in the downtown district. So like if you go downtown Atlanta, like especially going towards the east side part of downtown Atlanta, you will know that a lot of it is taken over by Georgia State University. Like they have occupied that area. So you will know that. Yeah, so you'll be like, wow, Georgia State really, yeah, they have really taken over. And they even took over, it used to be a life insurance company, right? It was a black-owned life insurance company over there in that area, which was started by Alonzo Hurden. They have taken over the building that sit right across the street from the library over there on Auburn Avenue. So if you ever come to Atlanta and you ever visit, if you go to the eastern part of downtown, which is like Auburn area, and go to Capitol Avenue all day, you would notice that most of it is taken over by Georgia State University. So, yep. And then when you go to the northern part or going towards like northeast, you would notice that that part is taken over by Georgia Tech. So it's like Georgia Tech got one hand, and then Georgia State got another hand. And then like when you go to the west side, most of that area is HBCUs, which is Clark Atlanta, Spelman, and Morehouse, and also Morris Brown University. So there, well, Morris Brown is like, it's kind of like further, but Atlanta University or Clark Atlanta University, Spelman College, and Morehouse, they're all in that intersection. They like share that little same little region area. So they're all in that little same bracket, like in that little same demographic area. But yeah. And so anyways, that's all for today. That's all about C.L. Franklin and Hank Aaron. So rest in peace to Hank Aaron, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. And also happy, I don't know if I want to say happy birthday. I'm still baffled by the information that I found out. I mean, you haven't. But anyways, so today is Rev C.L. Franklin birthday, the father of the late Aretha Franklin. But anyways, you guys, I have to go ahead and get off of here and get my day started. But I just want to present these sources to you all as usual. So thank you guys who have been subscribing to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate that a lot. And so if you like what you're hearing and you like what you're seeing, you can go ahead and share this video, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff, like the channel, etc. So whenever I come on, you know where to find me, and you know where to, you know what topic I'm getting ready to do and all that great stuff. So until then, please take it easy. Please be safe. Even though there's people taking vaccines out here. Oh, I forgot to mention. So Hank Aaron, along with Andrew Young, they took the COVID vaccine about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, but as far as me and my concern, I'm not in a rush of taking it as of right now, because I don't know what's in that vaccine, to be honest with you. I need to see some more clinical trials before I even attempt to either put myself out there. So for those of you who not trying to take the vaccine at the moment, I don't blame you. I understand, because I don't trust in myself either. I don't even trust it if my life depends on it. So I understand how you feel. But anyways, please be safe. Please be careful out here in these streets. Until next time, I'll reconnect with all of you. So peace and power elevation. And thank you. All right.